We are live, total bases, and it's no Adam Trigger today. He has a prior commitment. He's not suspended and he's not sick, so don't worry, guys. It's Bryan and myself today. So, maybe we'll have some silence on the show where nobody talks. I'm just kidding. How's it going, Bryan? How'd you do yesterday? And overall, how's it going?
Yeah, I thought after the show the other day when Adam says he wasn't going to talk, it wasn't going to be around, I says, well, that was the big deal. Everybody's complaining he talks too much. So we'll see at this point, and I'm sure we're going to miss him because
Exactly.
being the host, this is a tough job being the host, and you decided to take it over today. So and he lost his part of the parlay yesterday. So yeah, he has been suspended just by us two. Hey, you lose, you're out. But now we cashed 2 or 3 yesterday for the parlay. I went 2-0. Loved yesterday's card as the day went on. We had 2 easy winners. The Boston Red Sox, I believe they went 10-1, and we had the under in the Cleveland-Detroit game. So real nice day for us yesterday, and I'm stepping up with a 5% today in Major League Baseball. I don't put out many of them. This is only our second 5% of the month of June, but I really like today's card. And so I'll have a couple of plays, 3 plays maybe. Yeah, but at least one of them is going to be a 5% play. So that's up on the site right now. And yeah, really loving today's card. But let's get to the baseball games here. What do you want to talk about first?
Let me tell everyone how I did yesterday. I went one win and 2 losses. So I actually had a losing day in MLB. I thought Strider would come out strong, and he just gacked. And I thought Sasaki would come out strong, and he gacked as well. So I lost both of those. But I did win on the Athletics -1. So that was good. And in KBO, I swept the board. And those were 4% plays. My MLB plays were 2%. So actually, I had a winning day, although the record might not say so. So Bryan's got a pretty rare 5% play out in MLB. Bryan is WagerTalk's all-time winner in MLB. He's one of the OGs. Bryan is an original member of WagerTalk. I remember before I joined WagerTalk watching you and Marco talking about football and baseball on WagerTalk videos before I joined WagerTalk. So several ways you can get Bryan's 5% play. You can buy it straight up for $35, but it would make more sense if you got either a double play with Bryan and me or Bryan and Adam, or if you got his triple play, which is a 3-day package that's 30% off. So either way, take advantage of that. I have one play out in MLB. I'll probably be putting another one out in just a few moments after the show. So let's start today off with the Yankees and the Blue Jays, since that's probably the game of the day that everyone's going to be talking about. We've got Schlittler going against Gaussman. So 2 really solid pitchers going. And Yankees lost Judge, but they don't seem to have missed much of a step since losing Judge. So how do you see this one shaking out?
Yeah, they're not the same team, obviously, but the power aspect is really going to hurt them there. Schlittler's going for the Yankees, Gaussman for Toronto. We're looking at Schlittler and the Yankees, basically about a 125 favorite right now, with a total of 7.5. I do see 1-8 under at -117 out there right now. 8's not the key number. You're looking for odd numbers when you're looking at totals playing over and under. But Schlittler's been great all season long, and Gaussman is really impressed me this year. He's done very well. He's always been an innings eater, but the last couple of years he's really come on. Not one of your younger pitchers in Major League Baseball, but he's been very successful. I've been complaining all season long. Well, not all season long, but the last month or so that Toronto's, the way they're finishing off their games, they've got an awesome closer right now, and they were playing them in more, key positions. And sometimes they'd even use them in like the 7th inning. And I thought, I'm more of a traditional kind of guy. I understand it when you bring in a guy as the fireman who's going to put out the big fires, but they've decided to use him as the closer, and he's been shut down. He's been great. And so I feel more confident about this Toronto bullpen. and they are going to get him back pretty soon. He's been out just about all year long, so that'll strengthen their bullpen a little bit. The Yankees bullpen has been pretty good as well. And I like Cruz. They're giving Cruz a little bit more leeway out there. I'm not a big Bednar fan, but he's getting the job done. So I like both the bullpens here, but I prefer Schlittler in the game. In the price range it is right now, and we've talked. Adam talked about how the Yankees have been like a 45% winning team without Judge the last couple of years. I understand that, but I'd still prefer the Yankees in this game. But unless I can get somewhere down to maybe the 115 range, I'm probably going to sit this one out. I do like the Yankees, but we're not playing teams. We're playing numbers. And if you don't get the number you want, you pass. There's plenty of other games to play on. So right now, leaning with the Yankees, but the number is going to keep me away from it.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Like looking at my ratings, I have the Yankees better than the Blue Jays at everything, but just marginally better. Like I have them 3 points better in lineup current form. I have them 1 point better in bullpen current form, and I have them starters head to head. I have Schlittler about 4 points higher than Gausman. So normally those discrepancies are a lot bigger. I would like the Yankees if it's a decent number, like minus 115. I would take them for sure. But at this number, and actually on my Twitter X, Tokyo Underbar Brennan, I put up pitcher matchups and pitcher outs projections, strikeout projections, all kinds of stuff. So go check that out. But Schlittler's numbers against the Blue Jays in his career, not very good, actually. They hit him pretty good. So I first was thinking, hey, maybe an under in this. But then I changed my mind because of Schlittler's past history against these guys. Plus, they're on the road. So, yeah, I'm probably going to stay off this one as well. Even though we're not betting the game, we're giving you guys good betting advice that you can use for that. And as you guys are commenting, people are asking about Bryan's 5% already. You should check it out for sure. Yes, I agree. Someone said, how do you buy his 5% play? Go to WagerTalk.com. You'll see Bryan's page, or you'll see his face there somewhere. If you go to experts, all of us are listed there, and you can find Bryan there and get his 5%. Probably Wager Talk will have it highlighted somewhere on the front page as well. So let's go to the next game. We're going to talk. We have a watcher here that's going to the the Rangers game, right? Red Sox Rangers. We got DeGrom going against Rangers Suarez. Another good pitching matchup, almost as good as the Yankees Blue Jays pitching matchup. Maybe even better, actually, the way these two guys are pitching. DeGrom had a little rough patch there, but in his last two starts, he's given up 0 earned runs. So do you have any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, a quick little shortcut for anybody who is always looking for an individual play, individual handicapper. There's a little shortcut. We work for WagerTalk. So the shortcut is WT.buzz, BUZZ / then our initials. So mine would be WT.buzz/BL. And so that's one way to just get directly to our page on the site. Everything we sell is at WagerTalk or exclusive to WagerTalk. And they've been good to us, and hopefully we've been good to them. Thanks to all of you. This has been a really popular show. We've known there's been people out there that love baseball, and we've talked about it for years, and now they're starting to find it out too. So they're all excited about the show. So at one time we thought, hey, we may get canceled. Who knows? It's baseball. But no, we're thanks to you, really, hats off to you guys. They know now that there's a lot of people out there that love baseball, and we definitely appreciate that. Thank you. Texas DeGrom against Ranger Suarez, a Ranger going against the Rangers today at home. Boston's about a 115 favorite, total of 7.5. Some 8s out there, 8 to the under. But DeGrom has been better at home than he's been on the road, but he's always done very well. Very good, strong pitcher for the most part. Ranger Suarez, a little bit up and down. Didn't love the signing for the Rangers, the Red Sox. but compared to some of the other guys they have used, Ranger Suarez has been pretty decent starter for him, coming over from Philadelphia. So he's the lefty going against Texas here. And I've mentioned this in the past. Texas is a really good pitching ballpark. When they get out of Texas, I like to play their individual props, that kind of thing, because a lot of people just assume they're going to play as well on the road or struggle as much on the road as they do at home. I think they're going to be better on the road, and they're going up against that lefty and Suarez. I talked about this in the past. When you take a look at home run to fly ball ratio, that kind of thing, home runs to barrels is something I always take a look at. If your favorite team is not hitting home runs, but they're barreling the ball up through the air, usually about 50% of your barrels in fly balls turn into home runs. And in Boston, because of the Green Monster in left field, it's so hard to hit a home run over top of the Green Monster. So if you're looking home run props, Boston, that's one of the lesser places to hit home runs. So they can score runs. Obviously, Wade Boggs just stuck his bat out for years and knocked it off the left field wall and got a double. It's a very good hitter's ballpark. It's sort of like Colorado for that approach, where really good for batting average, really good for getting runners on base, but not as much in home runs as you would expect. But with these two pitchers on the mound, I'm somewhat looking for the under in this game. Boston's offense come out yesterday, and a lot of the young guys that are in the middle of the lineup all had really good games yesterday. I'd love to see that for Red Sox fans, because I do think they have some good offensive talent on that team. But going against DeGrom here, I don't think we're going to see it. I kind of like the under here. Like I said, it's split out right now between 7.5s and 8s. If you can get that 8 and lay 115, something to that effect, I think that's a pretty good bet on the under in this game. And now that Boston's got their closer back, and Latch has been very good. He's a lefty. He's not going to be the closer all the time for Texas, but he's been very impressive. I like the back ends of these bullpens, and I like the starters. So, yeah, I'm leaning with the under here.
Cool. Guys, we have a double play going on, which means 2 of us 3, you can get 3 days, huge discount. Or if you only like one of us, you can get a 3-day pass for 30% off. There's other deals at WagerTalk also. There's a special between now and Father's Day for $3 a day, all access for any capper, and that would include Bryan's 5% play. So, and any 5% I will put out. And before we trash Adam any further, Adam's red hot, actually. He won his 5% play yesterday on the Angels, and he just won his KBO 4% play. So he's actually doing quite well. So let's give him some props, even though he's not here today due to a prior commitment. So regarding this game, yes, pitching matchup is great. DeGrom, his stats against these guys are awesome. A 105 average against and a 333 OPS. Granted, it's only 19 at-bats, so a little bit of small sample size. But Ranger Suarez, 73 at-bats against, a 123 average and a 316 OPS. Almost mirror images of each other, both pitchers and their OPS against each other. Bullpens, both top 10. And Boston's hitting, I got them ranked 25th out of 30, while I got Texas ranked 12 out of 30 right now. So Texas has most advantages that my numbers are showing, but Boston is pretty sneaky good. They're coming on right now. I would agree with the under in this one, although I haven't played it. First 5 innings, I checked it before the show. It's 3.5, and 3.5 is a real precarious bet to make in Major League Baseball, because these are the best baseball players on the planet, and they can smack anyone anytime. They can put 3 runs up like you blink and 3 runs are up. So I'm not going to play a 3.5 under. If I saw a 4.5, I would like it. I might do either one of these team totals first 5 if I could find a 2.5, but I could not. So I will probably not play this game. But man, both of these pitchers are good. I think DeGrom has the better supporting cast, so I might take Texas, but I have not done it yet. Let me take a look at some of your comments. Yes, you guys are giving me good compliments. I appreciate it. I do, on my personal YouTube channel, I do a Sunday show. If you want Sunday action, you can find Tokyo Brandon on YouTube. But we do this Total Basis show on WagerTalk's YouTube channel Monday through Saturday. So let's stick to that. And I have a game that I would like to ask you about, Bryan. That is the Braves and the Mets. We got Martin Perez going against Sean Manaea for the Mets. Manaea is a guy I've never liked backing, but neither is Martin Perez. Perez has the better stats. I wanted to ask you about the Braves, though, because it seems like they're cooling off, and it seems like the Mets are heating up. But if you looked at these teams' records and stats, you would think this would overwhelmingly be a Braves win. However, the Braves are underdogs here. So how do you see this shaking out?
Yeah, we've got two veterans out here, and I actually like both these guys. When they coming into the season, his velocity was really down. He wasn't a guy who was going to blow people away anyway, but they were very concerned about that, and that's why he didn't really start the year in the rotation. They decided to use him out of the bullpen, but he's been pretty good, and he's a guy that I can usually find value on. Same with Martin Perez, and I like these guys that are under the radar a little bit here. Perez is the lefty going against the Mets here, and the Mets are a team, talent-wise, they're there, but they're counting on so many young players this year because some of the veterans just have not played as well. Atlanta, Atlanta, to me, Atlanta's the better team, and I think it's pretty large margin there. But you're right, they're not hitting like they were before. But hey, the season is ebbs and flows, and there's times where if they were hitting right now, they'd be favored. And the Mets are actually about a 115 favorite with a total of 8.5 here. So if I'm playing, I'm probably playing Atlanta here. I trust it a little bit more than the Mets. The Mets bullpen is gone through some problems in the past, but they've got a couple of guys back from injuries, and I like what they're doing there. The Braves bullpen has been fantastic all season long, one of the best in baseball. Up there with the Padres, they're very good. So we've got two teams with quality bullpens, and two guys who I think are better pitchers than what this total tells you. So we're looking at an 8.5 here, under about 112 to 115. That's the way I would go in this one. Two guys I like better than most people do because they're not major strikeout guys. And when you bring on a Mizrahi, by the way, I didn't have a chance to watch that game because I was at the A's game last night. But I'm going to go back and watch it. And I'm sitting there showing it to my wife, and I go, oh, my God, he's giving up one hit, no walks. He's 15 strikeouts. What a game from the Brewers starter yesterday. And I guess he did deserve to be an all-star in his first season because he may be the best pitcher in baseball right now. But, yeah, this one sets up very well. I like solid bullpens, and I like guys that I think are undervalued from the starting situation. And really, as you said, the Braves are not hitting as well, and the Mets have really not hit much all season long. So, yeah, if I'm playing this one, I also like the underdog, or excuse me, the under in this one. So very similar to the last game we discussed.
Yeah, the way I got this one, I really want to take the Braves here because we've discussed this on past shows that Martin Perez, he's actually better than his numbers, and he doesn't get a lot of credit, but he's actually pitching quite well. And if you compare him to Sean Manaea, in my opinion, he's a much better pitcher. Seems like he's older than dirt, but I think the last time I looked it up, he's not that old. Seems like he's been in the league since I was a teenager, though, but he probably hasn't. But and I'm 55 years old, so I was a teenager in the 80s. So the way I got this one shaken out, I definitely have the Braves with a starting pitcher advantage. But this is the tightest matchup I have on the entire day. I got both bullpens ranked 7 in current form, and I have both lineups ranked 21 in current form. I would love to take Atlanta just on the pitching advantage. However, the Mets are on an upward trajectory right now, and the Braves are kind of on a downward trajectory. And the ebbs and flows of baseball tell me that this could be a dangerous game to take the Braves on. Something like the hair on the back of my neck or something's telling me don't do it. So I'll probably lay off of it. But I do kind of like the Braves here. Let's take a look at the next one. So this is Bryan's hometown. Oh, and another guy sorry. We'll get to that sorry. Yeah, we'll go with that. Bryan's hometown, Cleveland, and the Guardians are taking on the Tigers. Tigers were great 2 days ago, and then yesterday it was a tight nail biter to the end, and this game stayed way under. You had the under in this game yesterday, right?
I did, yes.
Yeah, and it was 3-2 or something like that. So yeah,
it was 3-2, right?
Yeah, it was a good one. So how do you see it shaking out today? Obviously, the pitchers are different. Mm-hmm. So probably a different matchup and different dynamics. We got Skubal going against Cantillo.
Yeah, a couple of lefties going here. Right now, Detroit's about a 140. Let's go 150 favorite with a total of 8. Yeah, Flaherty slipped off the mound, I guess, early on in yesterday's game. And he left after 3 innings. He'd been pitching very well his last handful of starts, 5 starts or whatever. So I thought that may hurt my under in that game. But the bullpen for Detroit pitched very well. But the sad part was going into today, they had to use their bullpen a little bit earlier. Skubal back for his first start since that elbow situation where they had some new way to get rid of the loose bodies in his elbow, and he is back in no time. He wanted to come back last week, actually. He didn't even want to throw a game in the minors, but they made him do it, and he wasn't happy about it, but he went 5 innings against a single-A team, and so you can't really tell a lot when you're playing a single-A team against the best pitcher in Major League Baseball or a generational type of pitcher. He's been that good along with Skeens the last few years, but he'll go against Cleveland. Both these teams know each other's pitching staffs very well. I talked yesterday about how important it was for Detroit to come out of this series with a win to take this series because they trail Cleveland and now they trail the White Sox by a pretty decent amount. But I like the way Detroit's been playing. The problem is when you're betting this game is you don't know how long Skubal's going to go. If it's up to Skubal, he's going to throw his 100 pitches and he's going to stay in there as long as he wants, as long as he can. Detroit's got 2 ways to look at this. He's going to be a free agent, and they want to get the best deal possible. So they have to pitch him long enough where the opposition and the people who are looking to trade for Skubal know that he's healthy and he's back to his old self. Problem is that they play him too long and he gets hurt, it's going to really hurt what they can get out of him. So it's a fine line in this game, and I don't know what that line is. If I knew Skubal was going to pitch 6 solid innings, this is an under to me. There's still some 8s out there, 7.5 to 8. Steve Fezzik would say 7 3/4. I want to make sure I get that 8 here. But Cantillo's a guy. I like Cantillo. He's a crafty lefty. That may work against this Detroit team. Detroit's got a couple of they're really good bats. They don't hit lefties very well. So I think both starting pitchers are going to have some success. I like the Cleveland bullpen better than I like the Detroit bullpen, but the Detroit bullpen's doing all right. They've been using Vest as a closer lately, but they've got some guys in that bullpen. So I prefer the under here, but I probably won't get there because if Skubal's only going to go 5 innings, that means they have to use their bullpen longer. If he can get 6, that may be enough, but we'll have to see if it's how the game plays, maybe a live bet or something to that effect. But I'm watching the game, and I definitely want to see how Skubal looks because he's playing major leaguers for the first time in a month or so. So we'll see how it works out. But the importance of the game, I could see neither one of these teams are big power teams. So I could see them base to base, that kind of thing. And Detroit doesn't steal. So that hurts them in that regard. So it gives Cleveland a little bit of an edge. But this is a game I really don't have a big opinion on, and I'm sorry it took so long to talk about it.
I remember Dave Koch and Adam did a show together, and Adam went on for 15 minutes. And then at the end, he said, I don't have a play. And Dave went on a tirade and said, what the hell have you been talking about? So, God bless Dave, bless his soul. Anyway, rest in peace, my man. That guy was awesome. So looking at Joey Cantillo, the way I break this down, I've got the Tigers ranked better than the Guardians in almost every category, except starting pitching. Starting pitchers aside, I got the Tigers hitting a lot better. I got them ranked 8, while I got the Guardians ranked 27. And I got both bullpens very mediocre and almost neck and neck, like you said. Obviously, Skubal is a better pitcher than Cantillo. Actually, Cantillo's odd because he passes the eye test. Like, I watch him and I like what I see, but you look at his numbers and they're really bad, actually. A 1.51 whip and a 4.57 ERA is not good. So I don't know what to believe. Should I believe my eyes or should I believe the reality? You know what I'm saying? So his stats against Detroit, so-so. I mean, he's got a 742 OPS, which is right in the middle of my Mendoza line, 227 average against, and Detroit's about a 227 hitting team. So no surprises there. It would be Detroit or nothing with me, but what is it? Minus 200 or something?
No, we're looking at about anywhere from 145 to 155. So we're looking at about 150 with Detroit here. And Castillo has control problems. And I think it was his last game that I saw. He was pitching a great game, and then all of a sudden he just lost it. And that's what happens. You can wait him out a little bit and make him go a little bit deeper, but you don't want to face the Cleveland bullpen. So I don't know if that's a right way to approach it, but that's been his problem is he loses concentration and loses his ability to throw strikes sometimes.
I mean, even when the Guardians are winning, they're not really scoring. They're kind of like the Rays right now. Mm-hmm. They won yesterday scoring 3 runs. You won your under on that. Congrats. But, I mean, yeah, it would be Detroit or nothing for me on this one. But I probably won't play it. But if you can get Skubal at minus 140, I think that's kind of a good price. But like you said, we don't know how deep he's going to go. If it's prime Skubal and he's going to go 6 or 7 innings, I would take Detroit at minus 145 for sure. But probably won't because it's an X factor as far as I'm concerned. We do have one gentleman in the chat who's asking us over and over and over saying, I can bet action on MLB plays in Ohio. So what do I do? Bryan, when you bet, do you list your pitchers all the time or do you bet action?
I only bet action if I think there's going to be an opener coming in, like we saw yesterday. I believe Philadelphia used Banks as an opener. Because if you list pitchers and you would have listed the starter for Philadelphia yesterday, and let's say you went out with your family, whatever, at the end of the day, that would have been a no play. So if you think there may be an opener, and there's certain teams that do it. We talk about Tampa Bay does it all the time, and Miami has done it
and they
at
don't
times.
So,
if you bet action, the problem is when you're betting action is if you're betting and all of a sudden Skubal's supposed to be your starting pitcher and you're betting the Skubal line, and then all of a sudden Skubal's gone, you're stuck with that Skubal line. So most of my handicapping has to do with the starting pitchers. So most of the time I list my starting pitchers. 90%, 95% of my time I'd say I list my starting pitchers.
I'm kind of the opposite of you. I usually list action unless my cap is really based on one guy. Like you, I'm kind of the opposite capper as you. I'll take a lot of favorites and I'll base that favorite on, if Christopher Sanchez is pitching and my whole cap is based on him, I'll list the home only starter. But generally I'll bet action because I hate my bets getting canceled. So yeah, 2 ways to approach it, and they're both successful. So again, we do have a double play going on. You can definitely get Bryan in your double play today because he's got a very rare 5%. So take Bryan and Adam or Bryan and myself. 3 days, huge discount because 5% plays, they charge $35 for those, but you can get that plus 2 more days of 2 different cappers for very little more than that. You're getting a lot better value than that. Bryan is the #1 WagerTalk baseball capper, MLB capper all time. And I was #1 in MLB in 2024. And I was #1 in MLB about 2 weeks ago. I've dropped off a little bit. So 3 good cappers here at WagerTalk. Adam's red hot, by the way, as well. So next game we're going to go to is going to be from this request. He's asking about the Cubs and Giants. So the Cubs are a team that I have been staying away from recently because they have been dead, flaccid at the plate. And the Giants, I have them currently ranked number 2 in MLB in hitting, but I know with my own 2 eyes, I know the Cubs are a better team. So what do you do when the better team is ranked lower than the worst team? And Ben Brown is on the mound facing an inferior pitcher, well, in my opinion, Trevor McDonald. So how would you approach this one?
I actually like both these pitchers. I've been a Ben Brown fan for a long time, as long as he's been around. But McDonald, I've really been impressed by him. He's not going to blow you away, but he's been very consistent. And this is a tough ballpark to hit in, at least for power. The winds just blow everywhere. And so it doesn't matter if the wind's blowing out, wind's blowing in. It's a tough place to play defense, and it's a tough place to hit home runs. Ben Brown's been terrific as of late, and his confidence is up. And when you get a young kid whose confidence is up and his team is starting to believe in him, he's a guy I'm looking to back one way or the other. McDonald's a guy who I really like, and the bullpen situation for San Francisco, they came out and said who their closer is now and who their fireman is. So now the bullpen guys for San Francisco, they've had so many injuries and so many guys and been put in that position all season long. I think it's important for players to know their role, and so they're doing that right now. San Francisco looked really good when they were traveling and hitting in Colorado and some other places, getting out of there. Very similar to what I've talked about for some of the other teams like the Mets and Seattle and those kind of teams. So, but I don't fully trust the Chicago Cubs right now. Obviously, the leadoff hitter has been great right now, but this isn't a place you hit a lot of home runs in. So there's a split of 8s and 7.5s out there. If you can get that 8 at minus 115 or less, that's what I'm interested in this game, or maybe playing a team total under. Let me get a quick look at what the team totals are here. I'm assuming they're both basically the same. We're getting Chicago's 4.5 under 140. That means Chicago's got to score 5 runs here. 140 is a little bit juiced, but still, do you really think the Cubs are going to score 5 runs here? This is a pretty good, very good pitcher's ballpark, and McDonald's been very good. So either the Cubs, if you don't mind laying a little bit of juice, the Cubs under the 4.5, I would take as a team total, or under 8 on the game. I like that also.
Cool. A lot of people in the chat are asking about strikeouts and outs and things like that. On my Twitter X, I put strikeout projections and out projections. The outs projections are already up on my Twitter X, and the strikeout projections will be up probably in about 4 hours. So check that out. I will be doing a Sunday MLB show as well, so check that out if you want Sunday action, or if you're going to go to church instead of gambling like a good person would. That's your choice as well. So my thoughts on this are, someone in the comments said, yeah, these are 2 ass teams. Actually, it doesn't matter if they're ass teams. What matters is what they're priced at and what you think their chances are of winning. We don't bet teams here, guys. We bet numbers. So whether they're a good team or a bad team, Bryan does football, and he'll tell you that betting those, Youngstown State or Toledo, you'll make a lot more money betting those teams than you will Ohio State. Am I right?
In the long run, the teams that nobody else is interested in betting, those are the ones that the sports books lose money on. Let's just put it that way.
Exactly.
They know all the top 25 teams. Everybody's going to bet those, so those lines are tighter. But yeah, it's just, you learn these things. It's like, you never get value. You rarely get value on teams like the Yankees, Dodgers, those kind of teams. Yep. So yeah.
So ass teams, we love ass teams because we can bet on. Man. And yeah, that's right, the ass man right there. So, bad teams, you can usually get a good number on them. And a lot of people say, I don't bet full game because the bullpens are such trash. You can take advantage of trash bullpens, guys. You can take advantage of that and bet against them. So anyways, the way I cap this one is, yes, Chicago is the better team. They got the better bullpen right now. This is the weird thing about San Francisco is they're hitting so well, but their bullpen is playing horrible. So I got both starting pitchers like you, Bryan. I got them ranked pretty high. Ben Brown ranked a little higher, but the Cubs bullpen is below average, and the Giants bullpen is hideous. So one team can hit really well and the other can't. I don't know. I would say maybe a Cubs team total over, but man, the way they're playing, they're just playing so listless right now. Maybe a full game over. I don't know. I probably won't bet this game, even though I just said you can take advantage of numbers with ass teams. But this particular matchup I don't like because the data is just conflicting too much. You got the good side of one team going against the bad side of the other on both sides. So probably not going to bet this game. So let's start looking for parlay legs here.
Yeah, I've got one, I think.
Do you? Okay, bring up a game and we will go for it. Is it one we have not covered yet?
We have not covered yet.
Okay, great. Please feel free.
I'm going to take a look at the Seattle-Washington game.
Okay.
Because Castillo's going for Seattle already, and Cavalli already for Washington. We're looking at a total. We're looking at basically it's slightly more than a pick 'em here for Washington, slight favorite, 115, something like that. And I'm seeing mostly nines. There's a couple 8.5s out there, but mostly nines. Washington is the team, and we've been making a lot of money all season long on betting them. We love this Washington offense. The Washington bullpen is not very good. I talked earlier about teams playing in pitchers' ballpark. Seattle's one of those. So when they leave Seattle and go on the road, that's a team I like to bet on. And they're going up against Cavalli here. Has been very up and down. Don't know what you're going to get most of the time from Cavalli. He could be great at one time. Other times he could struggle. Castillo is now back to that. They had a couple games where he and Miller were going back to back, and neither one of them were happy. Well, now they've extended the starting rotation to a longer, to more days off, and decided to put them both in there. But Castillo's not a guy I'm looking to bet. He's the worst starter in this Seattle starting rotation. He has had some decent starts lately, but on the road in this good hitting environment of Washington, with this total of 9, I think we can get there pretty easily here. Neither starting pitcher I would consider to be above average. I know Cavalli's shown enough where he may be average, and we've got the bullpens. Seattle's got a nice bullpen, but they've struggled a little bit in the bullpen as of late. And Washington's got a bullpen that I don't trust at all. So we're looking for we get 9 runs, we get a push, we get 10, and we get the over, and I like that. This is a game I think is going to be a lot of runs. If you're looking for the first 5, let me take a quick look at that. The first 5 total is 5 minus 120 or so. There is a couple 4.5s with the juice to the over 25-30, but I'm going to take the over in the entire game here. I think both bullpens could be hit, especially the Washington one, and Washington is a team that when they're at home and you can get them against a less than what I consider an average pitcher, I think they're going to go off on them. So I think both teams reach to 5 runs in this one, and we get an easy over in this one.
Okay. Let's see how I'm going to approach this one. So Bryan's parlay leg is going to be the Washington game, Washington-Seattle over 9. He thinks they're going to average at least 1 run per inning in that one. And yeah, Washington's a team that we've been making a lot of money. We, meaning myself and you guys in the chat and my colleagues here, betting Washington's team total over has been pretty profitable this season. Right now, currently, I have them ranked 8 in MLB in hitting, where I got Seattle ranked 15. Seattle is one of those teams I try to avoid their games because they always bite me in the butt. So let's see. And the Padres are the other team that always bites me. So I probably will stay away from this game. Castillo, like Bryan said, he's fading a little bit. He did show some flashes of brilliance, but he's fading a little bit. And Cavalli's a guy, like Bryan said, he's very Jekyll and Hyde. Don't know what you're going to get. Neither bullpen's performing well at all. So that is conducive to the over. I've got St. Louis ranked 23, Washington ranked 25 in current form, and neither starting pitcher ranked very high. So yeah, I would kind of agree with that over there. And since both bullpens I have both bullpens ranked extremely low, I would not bet the first 5 over. I would take the full game over, like he said. That's how I would do it as well, actually. Don't have a lot of faith in Castillo. He's not the stud he was about 3 or 4 years ago. So, or 5 or 6 years ago, maybe. So, great show, guys. Freebird, our Leonard Skinnard fan, wants us to talk about the Diamondbacks today. Soroka's going, ex-Brave, having a pretty good season. And the Diamondbacks are a hard team to read. So are the Reds, actually. We got Louder going against Soroka. Louder's a guy who people had some high hopes on, but he's got a ERA over 5. Soroka, surprisingly, is 8-3 this season. But the Diamondbacks are 14-20 on the road. So a lot of conflicting data here. How do you see this one shaking out, Bryan?
Yeah.
And then I'll do my parlay leg after he's done.
All right. I'm glad Freebird sent this over because I agree with him. And thank you once again for the donation to charity. All the donations go strictly to charity, and we all appreciate that. The Detroit office does a terrific job with that. There are a lot of really good people in our organization. Soroka is a guy who, if you're looking for a guy with really good peripherals, advanced stats that doesn't get a lot of hype, that's Mike Soroka. He's always been a very talented pitcher, but he's had to deal with injuries his entire career. I really like him. And to be honest with you, if I'm going to play a road favorite, and there's some decent road favorites out there today, this is the game I'm interested in. You're laying about anywhere from 140 to 145 here with Soroka with a total of 9.5. He's a guy I'm looking to bet. And there's a reason why he's favored in this game. Ritt Louder looked really good his last time out, but he's very inconsistent. We talk about a quad A player. He's been a quad A player. The Reds are still without their best hitting. The shortstop continues to be out, and they're getting mixed hitting out of the rest of the guys. They're not really on the top of their game right now. And I think Soroka's going to have a lot of success against them. From a bullpen standpoint, neither one of these teams have really, especially Cincinnati right now. There's nobody I trust in that bullpen. So we get the Atlanta bats, who I think are superior, in a pretty decent hitter's ballpark. It's not like it used to be, but still, the line's at 9.5 for a reason. I think Arizona, hitting-wise, can get the job done, and Soroka, I think, controls this game. Maybe if you're looking for team totals, a team total under on Cincinnati, you're getting 4.5. You're laying anywhere from 130 to 140. That's something I'd be interested in. Or I would play Arizona. And so I'm fine with playing Arizona in the 140 range or the Cincinnati under 4.5 in that same 140 range. I'm not a guy who plays a lot of favorites, but I think laying a little bit of juice here is the way to go both ways.
Yeah. The way I break this one down, Soroka's having a great season. I really didn't expect it. As a matter of fact, I think his first start, I faded him and got burned. Because I didn't expect it. Against these batters, though, in his career, 21 at-bats against, he does have a 952 OPS, which is a little bit alarming, but I think he's kind of reinvented himself this season. He looks a little different than he did with the Braves, and he's got a great record considering the Diamondbacks aren't winning that much, but his winning percentage is really good. One thing that stands out for me with him is his walk rate. He's walking only 21% of the guys he's striking out. Amazing walk rate. Whereas Louder is walking about the same amount of guys he's striking out. A very bad walk rate. So both bullpens, I have them ranked fairly low in the low 20s. And starting pitcher, I give the nod to Soroka. So my heart wants me to bet the Diamondbacks, but my brain's not going to let me because of that bullpen, man, just unreliable. I mean, Cincinnati's is bad too, but this looks like a game that could get out of control after the starters exit. So I'll probably stay away from this one. So the last game I'm going to bring up is going to be my parlay leg, which is going to be in the Astros Royals game. we've got Mike Burrows and Noah Cameron, and we've got the Astros, 32 wins against the Royals with their 28-42 record. Not very good home record either, but then again, the Astros aren't very good on the road. So we've got Cameron against Burrows. How do you feel about this game, Bryan? And then I will tell the folks how I feel about it.
Yeah, yesterday it was. I talked about 2 days ago how the wind was blown out in Kansas City and the game went under, and then yesterday I may have just slightly mentioned it. And of course, in the first inning, both teams went crazy. Yeah, easy overs. Amai was the guy we were looking. He started to turn it around, and he it was an ugly game in that first couple of innings here for these two teams. A lot of scoring, and so that means you got the bullpens that had to pitch a lot yesterday. Mike Burrows, liked him in Pittsburgh. Haven't seen enough out of him out of Houston to like him. He's the weak link in this team, and he's lucky he's still in the major leagues at this point. I think he need to send him back down. Cameron has been good. You look at his base numbers and you think, yeah, he's a little lucky, but he's done it for 2 seasons in a row. Maybe he's just another Andrew Abbott. Who knows? But Kansas City in this game is about a 120, 125 favorite, total of 9.5. I kind of like Kansas City in this game. Houston against the lefty and Cameron, I trust him a whole lot more than I do Burrows and Houston. Although I got to say, when it gets to the bullpen, the Kansas City bullpen is still untrustable at this point. They still don't know who their closer is going to be. They've used Lang a couple of times. He's looked okay. But overall, it's still concerns about the Kansas City bullpen. Whereas Houston, hey, when you bring back one of the best closers in baseball and he's healthy, sure does help you, your last 7th, 8th, and 9th inning guys. So I like Houston in the second half of this game. I like Kansas City in the first half. So let me see what Kansas City is in the first half of this game. We're looking at them. You're paying about another 10 cents if you're playing them in the first half. You're playing about 130, 135. If I'm playing, that would be the way I would play it, and then I would look to possibly play Houston if they're trailing in the second half and trailing by a run or so, because they've got the better bullpen. But I want them close enough where they will use their better bullpen arms. If Kansas City's up by 5 runs or something, that's not something that I'm interested in because they'll not use their better bullpen arms. So different ways to look at this game. Nothing I'm probably using at this point, but I'm interested to see what you found in this one.
Yeah, my cap is pretty much the same as yours. I do not like Burrows, not a guy I want to back. Numbers are terrible. Expected numbers are terrible. And expected to be shipped down any day. Cameron's a guy who I loved last year. And I think he got off to a little bit of a rough start this year, if I'm not mistaken, because I kind of soured on him. But then now he's pitching really well. So I'm going to back the Royals here. Looking at my rankings, the same rankings I used when I was at MLB Scout, I got the Royals hitting 2 points better than the Astros, which is a surprise. I didn't expect to see that. But I've got their bullpen ranked much worse than the Astros. So I'm going to go first 5, just like our friend down there, Travis Heim, wrote Royals first 5. That's going to be my parlay leg. And Bryan just said it was minus 135 or so. So that's what we're going to do. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the Royals in the first 5. I'm going to back Cameron here because the Astros bats are not really striking the fear of God into anyone. Neither are the Royals, but I think anyone can. I think Burrows can make anyone's bats look pretty good. So I think that's where I'm going to go with this one. Even though the Royals have a catcher who is older than Moses, probably still and he's hitting like 140 or something.
Yeah, he's just finally catching up with them. But I've got to say that Alvarez is probably the best hitter in baseball right now for Houston. But you get pitch around one guy in the lineup, and nobody else for Houston is really hot right now. So, I agree. I'm always scared about Alvarez, but they haven't really gotten guys around him that's been hot, and that's what's really hurt Houston this season.
Then again, the Royals have Bobby Witt, so he's not injured, right? He's still in. Right?
No, he hurt his knee the other day, but he hasn't really missed any
He's back.
time, and I guess he's fine now.
So yeah, I like the Royals. Like Bryan said, you can pitch around one guy when the rest of the lineup stinks. That's kind of what's happening with Philadelphia, although Philadelphia has 3 good guys, but they're getting pitched around and the bottom of their lineup not really producing. So the Astros are kind of like that times 3. So that's where I'm going with my parlay. So wrap up the show, guys. Thank you for tuning in today. Bryan's got a 5% play out today in Major League Baseball. I have a regular play out in Major League Baseball. You can get a double play with Bryan. Make sure to include Bryan in your double play if you get one. Bryan and Adam, or Bryan and myself. Or get just Bryan for 3 days, 30% off. It's called the triple play. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll be doing a Sunday show on my own tomorrow. Have a good Sunday, everyone. Good luck with all of your action. And we will catch you on Monday. All 3 of us will be here. Adam will be back. He's not suspended or sick. Take it easy, guys, and thank you for tuning in. We'll be back with